Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully my voice is finding you in a good spot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on today that we got to get into, family. A lot of stuff. Big things happening we must discuss this morning. Please take a second. I'll give you a few minutes to please like and in particular share today's show. Many things to discuss. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Where my early risers at? Who's been up since 3:30? Who's been up since 4:30? Who's been up since 5:30? That's right. You got to get up early to get ahead of the competition. You only have so much time in a day. You can't stretch it out unless you get up early. I'll say it again. Early risers rule this world. Get up early. And I know you're not a morning person, right? Yeah, I've developed into a morning person. I'm more of a night owl. So you can't be a night owl and a morning person, but I've developed this skill over the years. On today's show, Family Speaks Out, Officer Resigns. We're talking about the family of Daunte Wright. And we're talking about Officer Kimberly Potter, who has resigned. Is that enough? Good morning to you. Now, today's show might be abbreviated. I won't know until about 8:30 or so. And I may have to make a move at about 9. But I told you this early in the week as well to give you an update on it, okay? So I'll let you know. Hopefully not. And I can rock with you until the full show. But if so, I'll be back with you tomorrow and we'll chop it up on everything that's going on. Family Speaks Out, Officer Resigns. Have you seen the video of the family? It's hard to watch, man. I hate to see people in pain over something like this. But the father, they both made great points. But Daunte Wright's father made an excellent point that needs to be echoed over and over again. And we'll do just that this morning. Good morning to you, 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts. A little chilly here in the city of Cincinnati. It's a little chilly, but I like it. I like it like that. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. That's the tip of the spear right there that I want to talk about. There's a few other things I want to bring to your attention as well that may or may not be on your radar screen. And we must discuss this morning. Again, this is the last honest place in Cincinnati media. And I want to talk about it with you this morning. What's up, Cole? What's up, everybody? Good morning. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Now, listen, if we are friends on Instagram, then don't unfriend me. Don't unfriend me, but I don't know what happened with that Instagram account, man. Something happened. Somebody reported me. I don't really post on other people's pages with that page at all. So it's very curious, but somebody did some dumb shit. You know how it is, family. So Facebook has had that Instagram page locked down for a year now. So at this point, I'm done with it. And I'm going to move on and create a new Facebook page. And I'll let everybody on that page know and then put it out there if you're on Instagram. Plus, I got some new ideas I want to put in place. I don't know what happened. I can't tell you. But when I go on and try to like and comment on other people's pages, it tells me there's some kind of restriction. Who knows? Dumb shit is just a part of the world these days. You know what I'm saying? It's inexplicable, unexplainable. It is what it is. But the parents of Daunte Wright breaks their silence. They spoke with, I believe it was Good Morning America. They sat down with Robin. And they both said that they can't accept that she just made a mistake. They can't accept it. And the father made an excellent point. He said, listen, they only do this kind of stuff with us. When it's other people, they don't do all that. When it's other people, they don't come off super hard, right? But when it's us, when it's non-white folks, they want to use the extreme, they want to do the most, basically. They want to do the most when it comes to physical contact. That sounds about right. And how are you a training officer? As a matter of fact, as it's coming out now, she was actually training them that morning, that day. How are you a training officer and you don't know the difference between a firearm and a taser? Also, we got to talk about Derek Chauvin case, because the Derek Chauvin case is kind of being impacted, and maybe impact is the wrong word to use. Let's just say that the case of Daunte Wright was brought up in the Derek Chauvin case. Did you know this? Yeah. Prosecution has rested. Now it's a defense time. And I don't know where they drugged this dude up, but they drugged somebody up that said that what Derek Chauvin did was completely legitimate. White man, of course. I'm like, where'd they get this dude from? This man with a straight face got in front of everybody during the Derek Chauvin case and said that he saw no problem with Derek Chauvin and what he did. I'm like, really? So what's wrong with this world, man? I'm telling you, humans worse than COVID. Humans worse than COVID. T-Grag writes, Officer Kim Porter retired with full benefits. Good for her. Well, at least she had more class than Melanie Bates. I'll give you that much, because Melanie Bates should have resigned, even though the circumstances are completely different. I'm just stuck on that schoolboy shit. I ain't gonna never let it go. Just so you know, that's just my attitude about certain things. Like it, don't like it. We'll holler at you. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, she retired. Yeah, I saw an interview. I think it's the mayor or one of the council members in Minnesota, and he's like, "Yeah, well, she submitted her resignation. We didn't ask her to resign." I'm thinking, why didn't you ask her to resign? I should have asked for her to resign immediately. Immediately, you got to go, ma'am. Officer Potter, 24, 26 years. I've heard it being reported two different ways. Years on the force. You're a training officer and you don't know the difference between a taser and a firearm. That's hard to believe. I'm waiting for the charges, y'all. Is she going to be charged? That's all I want to know. And what is going to be the charged? That's it. I think justice for me is she goes to jail to the fullest extent of the law. That's justice for me in this scenario. I mean, nothing less than that is going to be good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing less than that's going to be good enough. I want to see her in jail. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Hold on one second here. Okay, there. A little claustrophobic there. I know it's real tight. That headspace is a little tight there. But we's be okay. Hold on, let me see if I could do something for you. Yeah. Oh, that's way too much. We don't want to do all that. That's way too much. But I'll give us a little bit of headroom there. There it is. Headroom. A little more headroom. Starts to feel claustrophobic, don't it? It's too tight, cropped in. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Maurice writes, Gloria's Resurrection. Saw this on GMA. Oh, you saw it already? Now, hopefully I don't get hit with a copyright strike. These fools, man, I don't understand what the difference is, but it is what it is. I want to play this for you so you can hear it and see it for yourself. And the parents of Daunte Wright, it's just so sad. The parents of Daunte Wright spoke out for the first time in an interview. And it's a sad-ass interview. It's super sad. It's super sad to see this family. And I see Benjamin Crump there. How is it that Benjamin Crump is always like the number one lead attorney on these cases? Are like people reaching out to him? Is that what's happening because he's got like a national, recognition or something? I just don't get it. It's like every case is now Benjamin Crump. What exactly is his track record? Like, does he have a winning record? I haven't been keeping score, but damn, there's nobody else here? Hold on, let me pull out just a little bit. Just a little. That's a little bit more, little bit more. That's good. That's good. Little bit more. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I want to go the other way. Little bit more. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Shout out to all the good people that, support me and support this show and support CDM and what we're doing. I appreciate you. We deserve it. We deserve more. Why can't we have more? Good morning to you. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. I said Jerome's in the house. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you. Tracy Dillingham writes, hi. Good morning, Tracy. Brian, I got to reach out to you, brother, because the answer is yes. Let's do it. I just been super, super running from one thing to the other. Tiff writes, good morning, all. It'd be my privilege to work with you, brother. Renee writes, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Good morning to you, Renee. Good to see you. Roy is in the house. What's up, Roy? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Get to the chopper! Yeah, it took me a minute. Couldn't remember where I put it on the sound pad. Jason writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning to you. Get to the chopper! Maurice writes, she resigned so she couldn't be fired. So she wanted to get a job somewhere else. I want it on her record. It was done before. Well, if she has a criminal record, then that'll be on the record. We shall see. Lee writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Graston writes, us. Isn't the mom white? Hashtag alt middle. Yeah, she is white. Father's black. Son is black. Us. Pat writes, good morning. The politically petty show writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Flows ready to eat for everybody. Hashtag suckers to the side. I know you hate my 9-8. Okay. I'm not sure what all that means, but okay. Good to see you. Grasson writes, Officer Kim retired with full benefits. Maurice writes, Queen Rowley, thank you for the information. Oh, absolutely. Roy writes, she resigned so she can keep her position, her pension. Yeah, of course she did. Oh, yeah. Humans going to do what they got to do to protect themselves, even when they dead wrong. Like, you can have some humans that can be dead wrong with some shit, and they'll act like they didn't do a damn thing if they feel like it'll cook their goose. That's why I say humans worse than COVID. Kim Potter, another example of humans worse than COVID. COVID don't make no mistakes. COVID don't pull out don't make mistakes about whether it's a taser or not. All COVID wants to do is replicate. That's it. All COVID wants to do is be great. It's these fucking humans that are the real problem on planet Earth. It's always been that way, always will be that way. Pat writes, she should have been fired. I agree with you. She should have been fired, but you know how it is these days, Pat. I mean, why fire her when they can keep her on the force? Right? Fire? Why would we do that? It seems like everybody's got the same word. Word is she resigned to keep her pension. Are they allowed to do that? Well, obviously they are allowed to do that because she just did it. Here is, and this is ABC. Obviously, you can see that. So all credit to them. I want to play a little bit of the parents because I think it's instrumental to the conversation, at least for the first hour. This is Daunte Wright's parents speaking out for the first time and giving their perspective on what happened to their son and their reaction afterward, okay? This is emotional. This is very emotional. Let me say this again. Let me look you in the eyes. This is emotional. This is very emotional. So you might get in your feelings. You completely okay with that, okay? And as you watch this, the real question, no matter where you live in America, is what are you going? What about the standards and the rules of engagement where you live? So let's say you live in Cincinnati. Let's say you live in Ohio or Pennsylvania or Arizona or Georgia. Could this happen there? And if so, what would happen afterward? All right. That's what I want you to think about as we process this. You ready? Are you sure? Okay, rotate.
The support you need to help you during this difficult time, and we appreciate you spending some time with us this morning to talk about your son. Mrs. Wright, you said that your son Daunte called you after he had been pulled over by the police. Can you please share with us what you all said to each other?
He called me and he said, Mom, I've just been pulled over. I said, for what? They said they pulled me over because I had air fresheners hanging in the rearview mirror. I said, okay, we'll take them down. And then he said, well, they're also asking for insurance. And I said, well, when the police officer comes back up to the window, give him the phone and I can explain and give him all the insurance information. He said, okay. And then the police officers came back up to the window and asked Daunte to step out of the car. And Daunte said, for what? Am I in trouble? And the officer said, we're going to explain that when you step out of the car. And they asked him to put the phone down. And I heard the phone getting put down pretty hard, whether it was on the floor. I don't know where he put the phone down. Mm-hmm. And then I heard scuffling and the girl that was with him screaming. And I heard an officer ask for them to hang up the phone, and then I didn't hear anything else. Oh. I tried to call back three, 4 times, and then the girl that was with him answered the phone, and she said that they shot him, and he was laying in the driver's seat, unresponsive. And then I heard an officer ask her to hang up the phone again, and then after that, this is the last time I've seen my son. I haven't seen him since.
I'm so sorry. Just the anguish. And Mrs. Wright, you were on the phone for so long with your son, and it seemed at first that the things were under control. Do you have any idea how it escalated the way that it did? Why it escalated the way that it did?
I don't know. I know my son was scared. He's afraid of the police. And I just seen and heard the fear in his voice, but I don't know why. And it should have never, ever escalated the way it did.
No, ma'am. And Mr. Wright.
Why don't we ever talk about that? Why don't we ever talk about like that righteous fear that a lot of non-white folks feel about dealing with the police? You know, like this came up yesterday, like the trauma that's been caused by this and will be caused by this won't even be discussed in most areas. It won't even come up. It's like it don't even exist. It don't even exist. You know what I'm saying? You know, we spent more time on and again, I think this is a very important issue. I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about it, but I'm just thinking about all of this conversation about anti-Asian violence. But what about anti-Black violence at the hands of people that we actually paying for? I'm not saying those conversations don't happen. It just seems like the trauma piece about it just gets glossed over. Is it just me? You know what I'm saying?
How did you get word, and what did police initially tell you about the shooting, sir?
Well, I got word from my wife. She called me, and she was screaming and telling me what was going on, and I was, it was a normal day for us. We started off as a normal day. I haven't talked much to the police at all.
They haven't given us any information.
They haven't pretty much given us any information at all.
We do know that the police chief, he said that he believes that the shooting, that the officer meant to shoot the taser, not her gun, and that it was an accidental shooting. Do you accept that explanation, Mr. Wright?
I cannot accept that. I lost my son. He's never coming back. I can't accept that. A mistake, that doesn't even sound right. This is an officer that's been on the force for 26 years. I can't accept that.
And Mrs. Wright, we know that the mayor has called for this officer to be fired, to be relieved of her duties. What would you like to see happen, ma'am?
I would like to see justice served and her held accountable for everything that she's taken from us.
And we do know that people are outraged.
Well, here's my question, family, and maybe somebody has done the homework on this. Maybe somebody's already did the legwork on this. But is there an example? Somebody Google it real quick. Is there an example where this has ever happened? And it could have been. In the game of, cops and citizens, I mean, things are going to happen sometime. But is there an example where somebody has been mistakenly shot by police, and that person was white, and the police like made a mistake, like, oops, I thought it was a taser. I, I, I haven't done like deep research on it, but can somebody do a quick Google search and see if anything comes up? I wouldn't be surprised if we find it, but the father's about to make a couple of points. And I agree with both of the points. Well, I agree with one of the points that he's about to make. And then I want to make a point about, if something like this ever happens to me, and the way that I would want the community to respond. But we'll get to that in a second. Check this out.
Are upset. Many people are upset that, again, another black man has lost his life at the hands of police. But you all have been consistent in calling for peace and calm. So, Mrs. Wright, what do you want to say to those who want to take to the streets on behalf of your son?
I want to say thank you so much for the support and standing by us and making sure that my son's name has been heard, and asking for justice, and asking for that we get everything that we need out of this, and making sure that my son's name doesn't get swept under the rug and forgot about.
And are you still calling for peace? Are you still hoping that they can do this, a protest in a peaceful manner?
Yes.
Mr. Crump, we know that you're there in Minnesota for the Derek Chauvin trial, there for the Floyd family, as you're now there with Daunte's family. And as Daunte's father said, and as we said in the report, this police officer, 26 years, not a rookie, 26 years on the force. It was actually training another officer at the time. Sir, what has to take place for this to stop happening?
I mean, think about that for a second. She's training another officer. That's like, let's say you're like a driver's ed instructor, and you got some first time or some new drivers or some people that want to be drivers, and you teaching them how to drive, and you end up violating the laws and wrecking the car. It's unbelievable. This is what you're doing? I want to see her drug tested. I'm wondering whether she was all the way there together. 26 years on the force. I've heard that being a police officer is tough. Maybe some of these officers, man, they get up in years. They got to pop a pill here or there just to get through the day, just to be even, just to be cool, right? And she asked the question, what is it going to take? Well, we already seen what it's going to take. So let me say something right here. If something like this ever happens to me, I want all the smoke from the community, all of it. All that little peaceful candlelight visual shit, you can save all that. Tear this motherfucker up if that's me. Turn over everything, stay in the streets for 40, make it biblical. Stay in the streets for 40 days and 40 nights. All this peaceful, nice shit don't get anywhere, nowhere. The only reason why people paid attention to George Floyd last year is because there was an enduring effort over multiple cities and people couldn't get away from it. And what we've seen is that when it's all nice and we gonna just do a little vigil for Nathan, fuck that. I want all the smoke, every canister, every color to smoke, and stay out there for 40 days, 40,000 days and 40,000 nights until some real reforms get put in place, because all that little nice stuff, it don't move the needle. It don't really move the needle. When it's all nice and polite, it's like, oh, that's messed up. They killed Nate. Oh, he was a good guy. When's that new episode of The Winter Soldier coming out, right? You forget that shit real quick. I want all the smoke. Okay, let it be known, all the smoke, every canister, every color, 40 days, 40 nights, whatever it takes to move the needle for some real reforms, because having these little conversations don't do shit. I want boycotts. I want it all. Because that's what it takes. If you ain't shutting down the commerce, nobody cares. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, I know. I'm not being responsible, right? I'll let other people do all that shit. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm just telling you, if it's me, all the smoke, every canister, every color, boycotts, stay in the streets, turn everything over until some real reform and some real change happens. My people ain't gonna be like, oh, just be peaceful. We're not gonna be like that. My wifey's we're not gonna be like that. They already got instructions. We ain't doing that. I'm just telling you. I mean that. Take it for whatever it is. Other people can play those games. I ain't playing those games. I'm being real with you. My life is super valuable. I ain't on it. And what I've seen is that when everybody's all quiet, let's not be too impolite. Nothing gets done. When you stay in the streets and start demanding boycotts, and you see little fires here and there, and you see people out there and the social order breaks down, that's when people are like, let's pay attention. So that's what I want if it's ever me. I'm just telling you. So there it is. Now you know. Okay? Simple as that. Keeping it real with you. Oh, he was a good guy. He had great flows. We're going to miss you, Nate. And then you just blow out the candle and go on with your life? Hell no. You can set all of it on fire. I'm gone at this point. Set it all on fire. I'm just being honest with you. You feel any different about yourself? Before you start judging me like, oh, that's irresponsible. Now, I know some of them people in Cincinnati feel that way because we so polite here and we're not allowed to say what we really feel, but it's a new day. It's a whole new day. And this is new media. And we got a whole new way of doing things. We're going to keep it 100 with you. I want all the smoke. I want the boycotts. I want the fires. I want the overturned automobiles. I want it all. I want this motherfucker to look like King Kong and Godzilla got into a fight. That's what I want it to look like. Because when that happens, then people start paying attention. Like, wait a minute, they serious. Wait a minute, okay, so what's the demands? Oh, let's pay attention to it because we don't want no more of this smoke. Now tell me I'm wrong, family. You cannot. You can try, but you're just not going to be successful. You cannot tell me that I'm wrong about that. I'm 100 on that one. I'm just saying for me. Now, you might feel differently. The police shoot you on some dumb shit. You might be like, well, just don't say nothing and keep your head down and be a good little citizen. No, I ain't doing none of that shit. I don't want that. I'm going to say it again. I want all the smoke if that's me. Every little bit of it. We cool on that? I think we cool on that. I think we cool. Because that's what it's going to take. The politicians don't get moved. They get moved by this for a minute, and then like football season will be here and we get distracted. And it doesn't become as important anymore. And I don't want no fucking murals. I'm telling you that right now. If it's me, fuck a mural. I don't want no murals. I want some equity, policy, and tangibles if that's me. I'm just telling you. You can save that mural bullshit for the people that, fall for that. I don't fall for that. It won't mean a damn thing to me. However, if you do a mural, make sure that shit ain't on the ground. I'm just telling you like that. If the police kill me, I don't want a mural commemorating my life on the fucking ground. Okay? Y'all can do what y'all want to do. I don't want my mural on the ground. Put my shit up somewhere where everybody can see it with some dope shit, with some dope black artists. Make sure you put a microphone in here. Get me with this right here. Black Voices Matter and shit. Something super dope that people can remember. I'm just saying, everybody different. I'm just telling you because, you never know. I got a bunch of shit to do today. So I could be out today and come across a police officer and some dumb shit happens. Could happen. Now, Cincinnati's a little different because we got folks in this city that's on top of it. They own it. And we've already kind of gone through this, but Cincinnati, don't sleep. It could happen again. It can happen again. So I'm just telling you, we clear about that if it happens to Nate. I don't want to hear all that, oh, we gonna go to the ceremony and that's gonna be it. Now, if you're gonna put some money on the books for the family, I'm with you on that. Okay. Put my mural up somewhere where everybody can see it, not on the ground. Like, damn, that was a great mural. Gotta repaint it. I know the pure mural folks out there hate it when I talk about it, but I don't give a damn at all. So what? We all have different opinions. It is what it is. Jason writes, did I get your attention? You up and ready to have a conversation? Good. Let's get into it. Jason writes, how can she be on the force 20 some years and making rookie mistakes? I'm thinking drugs. That's the first thing I'm thinking, drugs. Drugs. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe she was on something. Maybe she was popping some pills. Maybe she was shooting something. Who knows? That's the first thing I thought. Because it's just hard for me to believe that you make these kind of mistakes. That's hard. That's very, very hard. I don't know. What do officers think? Anybody in law enforcement or former law enforcement brave enough to share thoughts with us about whether you think this is even realistically possible? Because I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Y'all might think, well, Nate, people won't believe this, but it's possible. Okay, I'd love to hear that argument. I'd love to hear that argument. There's the number, 513-873-7134. So Robin asked the question, what is it going to take? That's what it's going to take. It's going to take for people to stay in the streets, stay vigilant, get your stamina up, keep your endurance up, have an agenda, be organized, and keep that same energy. That's what it's going to take. Because that's what it takes to move the politicians. Because without that, again, what I've seen is these politicians, they might be well-intentioned, they might care, but they don't really move as fast until you light a fire under their ass. You light a fire under their ass? Why are you standing there?
Good morning, the Choppers and the Nathan Ivy Show.
Good morning, son. You giving me love? Good. Good. Oh, yeah. Let them get it all in. Yes. With some collagen. Thank you. Yeah, I found that, man.
Do you know where the other piece is?
I don't know. You think we can talk about this later? No, we got to talk about it right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. What else? Anything else?
When are you ever going to put these back together?
Why don't we talk about that later, son? I'm kind of in the middle of something. No? Okay. Okay. We can do that today. We can do it together. How about that? You good with that? Take your piece, man. Here you go. Wait. Take your piece. There you go. All right.
I'm the queen of God.
I don't know what he just said. Okay. That works too. Boy. Tanya writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We got a call coming in. Let's take our early call here. Who is it? Who's on the line? Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I was just calling to make a point about the local situation in terms of why our Cincinnati police have these incidents, but our Hamilton County sheriffs never do.
Okay, what's your name, brother?
And it's Will.
Will. Hey, good morning, Will.
Good morning.
Okay, go ahead, brother. You on the line? What do you have to say?
Oh, I'm sorry. The local sheriffs work when they first get in the system as officers at the justice center, and so they have to walk around and deal with folks without a gun. They have to deal with folks when they're already under stress and a lot of pressure, and they learn to deal with people and talk to people and handle situations. And so then when they get out in the street, even though they do have a gun and everything, they have more tools in their toolbox for dealing with folks. And so they never have these incidents. But you just notice the Cincinnati police are always the ones that win locally that have these kind of incidents. I mean, Lincoln Heights is no different than Madisonville or all these other areas, and the Hamilton County sheriffs are the police force for Lincoln Heights. But you don't hear these incidents happening out there.
Okay. So you're saying the Hamilton County Sheriff deputies, they get that experience up front, and it helps them all the way through their career, and that's why we don't see it from them.
Absolutely. It just makes them better, better dealing with the community, better dealing with people. They know the difference between somebody just running their mouth or getting a little agitated because, they're getting pulled over. To the police, it's just a ticket. We're just going to get this guy a speeding ticket. But to that individual, it might mean they're about to lose their license. Maybe they're driving the car illegally because it's their girl's car. It's a lot of, maybe she's not going to let them drive no more. They're going to lose their job. It's just a lot of situations going on. They don't know. But so the people are getting stressed out. They're getting loud, whatever else. the sheriffs know how to deal with that. The Cincinnati police just go nuts. You know, if you don't, if they don't feel like, you know what I mean, that they get, you know, that they're in any kind of situation, they just get nervous. And they call for that second car, and it's all over. But you know, the sheriffs just do a much better job around here.
Okay.
So,
All right,
that's all I want to say.
I appreciate the call,
Thank
man.
you.
Have a great day, brother.
All right.
That's Will checking in. What do you think about what Will had to say? Graxton, aka Black Russia, says information people can do nothing with. Same ish for 25 years. Look at me, I'm important type ish. It's old. What is he talking about? I don't know. Maurice writes, imagine if it was brothers as officers and that was a white guy. Totally different outcome. He's a Mason. Yeah, I mean, how often does that happen where officers think they are using a firearm? I think about Oscar Grant, but in that case, you had a black man, white officer, non-melanated officer. How often does it happen where it's a white officer, where it is a black officer and a white suspect or citizen or whatever, and they mistakenly pull the wrong thing? How are you in charge of training and you can't remember that? Oh no, Jason writes, he's been on all the cases. Yeah, Benjamin Crump is on every case. Are the families reaching out to him? He seems to be, if so, I mean, I guess that's props to him, man. But damn, is there anybody else in America that handles these kind of cases? I'm not saying the brother's doing a bad job. I don't really know, but Tabitha writes, good morning. Patricia writes, I believe Crump is good at civil cases. Jason writes, we appreciate your work, Nate. The new Cincinnati. Thank you so much, brother. Same to you. Okay, Brian got the message. Most def, B. Even though you are a GW fan, GSW. I saw Steph. He put up 53. That man is he on another level, man, with that jump shot. Whole nother level. Hey, what's up, Ron? Good to see you, brother. He writes, good morning, y'all. Be sure to share. Thank you so much. Kelly Prather is in the house. Kelly, I was just thinking about you yesterday. She writes, good morning, all. Good to see you. Carmyar1 writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers.
Go! Get to the chopper!
You know what you get here. You know what you get. Blessed morning, all. That's Rachel. Daryl writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Daryl. The mayor hasn't accepted her resignation as of yet. He can still fire her. Is that right? Is that right? I like that. I like that. I like that. Let me see here. I'm looking at an article titled, well, it doesn't really matter the title of it. Is that true? Can we confirm that? Can you send me a link? Interesting. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. It's the wifey. See here. Is that right? I'm reading that she didn't live in Brooklyn Center, which is where this happened. She's not local to Brooklyn Center. I think they got different rules for different cities and municipalities and locales and things like that. But I'm just a big fan of police officers living in the neighborhoods they patrol. I'm a big fan of that because I just feel like it's different. You know, when you're a part of the neighborhood, you're going to, in my opinion, you're going to police it differently than if you're driving in from many, many miles away. You're going to have a whole different attitude. You know, I think the attitude is different between driving into work, right, and policing a neighborhood where you actually live, where you're actually a part of it, where people see you in the grocery store, where you know people, where you can't, you know, you're a part of it. You know, I don't know. I've always been a big favor of that. I've always been a big person in favor of officers living in the neighborhoods, the counties, the cities that they actually patrol. But Kim Porter killed a different black man who had autism. Yeah, I'm getting to that. I believe you're correct. Dill writes, you love y'all, and this hurt my heart. What son wouldn't call his mama? Right, called his mama. Called his mama. Clarence writes, morning, Choppers.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Lee writes, it's sad, But had the brother not have resisted, I think he would have been here amongst us today. He opened the door for this to happen. Damn, Lee, I made the same point yesterday, bro. Some people might say that's hella inconvenient. Hold on one second. Talking with the wifey. Hey, Dee writes, good morning, shoppers. Thank you so much. Okay. Sister Iris writes, my goodness, as a mother, to have your son call you at that moment. Yeah, I mean, as a father, I mean, my daughter is 15 and she wants to drive as soon as possible. We're going to have to get her a ride and pay for the insurance. You know, all the stuff you got to deal with parents. And that means she's going to be out here, you know, driving around the city with her fabulous melanated self. And she got a mouth on her. And she's smart as hell. And she know who the hell she is. Because she's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super I'm concerned. I'm super concerned. I got a 6-year-old who's 10 years behind her. You already know he can't wait to get into the wit and hang out with his boys and all the stuff he's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? He can't wait. Graston writes, it only escalated because the decedent resistant, hashtag all middle. I made that same point yesterday, right? Yeah, I think that's fair. Ostensibly, that's fair. Let me put it that way. Ostensibly, that's fair. Graston writes, anti-Asian violence isn't perpetrated by other Asians. Black violence happens more at the hands of other black people rather than the police. Hashtag numbers don't lie. Hashtag alt middle. Is that true or is that propaganda? That sounds like propaganda to me. Because from what I understand is like you're more likely to be assaulted by somebody from your own race across the board. Black, white, Asian, whatever. That's what I understand. But I get it. I get it. Clarence writes, like Dr. James Small said, you kill my son, I'm killing your son. That'll stop all this BS. Well, you know, I've said this many times before. I mean, that's some of that good old-fashioned natural selection, God's law. You know, that's from a less civilized time. But you know, the reality is, I mean, the eye for an eye, I get it. I understand that sentiment, but that's for a less civilized time and when it doesn't involve the police, right? You're not supposed to say those kind of things when it comes to the police, right? You already know. Let me see. Brent writes, good morning, Ain't the Choppers, checking in from Dallas, Texas.
Get to the
You mentioned the
chopper!
choppers, that's what we get. It's a Chopper Wednesday. Lee writes, it does seem like the Asian hate took over unjustified police abuse and killing. Why is that? That was the point I was trying to make. Maybe it was clumsy. I'm not saying I'm always super sharp with every single point. It could have been clumsy. Jason writes, did we hear about the money and support given to the Asian restaurant downtown? Yes, I did. That was just from the harassment calls. They were also talking about dropping a bill to protect that community. And they might still. And I think everybody should be protected. You know, I don't think you should be getting no extra hate because you Asian or of Asian descent and we're dealing with coronavirus. I think it's ignorant as hell. You want to blame somebody, blame these anti-maskers, these Karens and Darrens running around here arguing about wearing a mask. That's who you really want to blame. I'm not blaming no Asian Americans for that. Some of these folks ain't even been to China. Right? I'm supposed to blame you? Nah, I can't see it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. I am not gonna be able to do it. I'll say it again. If something happened to me like that, I want 40 days, 40 nights of uprising. I want uprising. That's what I want. I don't want no, we're gonna talk about it. Nate was a good guy. I used to love his show. Now he's gone. When did the NBA finals start? Nah, fuck all that. I want you to go hard in the paint. Hard in the paint for me. If you make a mural, do not put my mural on the fucking ground. Put my mural up on some big prominent buildings where everybody can see it. I want boycotts. I want social unrest. I want smoke. I want flames. I want all of that. I want all of it. And don't stop until we get equity, policy, and tangibles, period. So now you know. Some of y'all might have been like, whoa, what? And what would you want anything less if that was you? If any, raise your hand if you feel anything differently about yourself. Sure, I got super high self-esteem. I love them. I love me. I love this life. I'm loving it. I get into an altercation with the police and they do something crazy and take me out the game. You know exactly how I feel. I want smoke, flames, helicopters, National Guard. I want the whole 9 yards. Boycotts. I'll take a mural, but not on the ground. Don't put my mural on the ground. I'm going to be pissed in heaven or where the fuck I'm going. Probably hell. Let's be honest here. I'm going to hell. I know it. As long as they got a little, I can do my thing, a little podcast set up, it'll be great. Hang out with Tupac. Crystal Rice, good morning. TNT Rice, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Maurice Rice, these racist white folks don't respect protests. They only respect violence. Yeah, for what I see is smoke. You know what I'm saying? When you bring the smoke, people start paying attention. When it's all nice and we just gonna sing, he was a good man. Nobody remember that shit. Nobody remember that at all. They'd be like, turn the channel. Pamela Rice, wasn't there a case a few years ago where an older white volunteer cop used his taser instead of a gun? Yeah, there was. I believe that was in Oklahoma, as a matter of fact. He was an older, I remember the video, Pamela. Thanks for bringing it up. He had nothing to do with the arrest whatsoever. But he had to bring his old ass in there and feel like he had to do something. And use the wrong weapon. Foolish. It's like, well, you go sit your ass down. TNT writes, they definitely doing a toxicology report on the victim. You already know. They want to try to find some drugs on this system so they can try to do what they do to everybody. They did the same thing with Trayvon Martin. Oh, he had weed in his system, so that explains why he was so violent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure it don't. Danielle writes, he want all the smoke. I want all the smoke. I want flames. I want shit burning. I want the National Guard. I want a 40 days and I want a boycott. Don't spend no money with these motherfuckers at all. I want it all. I want every color to smoke. Just so you know. Maurice writes, excellent point, Nate. Drug test her. Oh, for sure. Should have already did it. Instead of letting her go home and, get herself together, then come back. Hey, come back to the station in a week. We're going to do a drug test. Oh, sure, I'll be back. Yeah, that's effective. I agree, Nate. Singing We Shall Overcome isn't getting it. When are we going to learn? Kamara's in the house. Good to see you, sis. She writes, good morning. Nakia writes, what you say, tear this ish down for you, Nate? Tear this motherfucker down. All of it. All of it. All of it. TNT writes, NFL and EBA season start. Nathan who? Right. Like what? Nathan who? Nathan what? Yeah, I seem to remember some guy. I already know. I mean, I don't take it personal. Neither should you. That's just human nature. We get distracted real easily. Wait a minute. Phase 4 of the MCU Marvel Universe is coming out? Huh? What happened? They killed who now? Right? What happened again? You already know. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Nathan, how you doing, man? It's Tony Ewing.
Hey, what's up, brother? What's up, Tony? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good to hear.
Just,
okay.
Taking a break.
Good to hear.
Taking a little break from work. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, man. I've been wanting to chime in. I usually catch you, later on in the evening. catch the rebroadcast and stuff, but I had to get in on this topic, man, because it's been really hard, with these killings. And but first, I wanted to commend you on yesterday with that phone call with Joseph. I know a lot of people were kind of going hard on him, but you got to understand that he said he was 40, like in his 40s, around our age. So
Mm-hmm.
I work with people who are they just ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
They just, it's not necessarily that that they're racist, but they just don't know. And see, I had a friend, we worked together, who, he was from St. Bernard, like born and bred in St. Bernard. And for the life of him, he could not understand that color was a bad word, And I tried to explain to him, like, look, man, you'll lose your mouthpiece. Me and you friends, but you bring that to someone else, my shade, and it's over. But in that little Smurf village in the city, that that's how they talk. So that's all he knew. So when so that was good that you was kind of educating them, because they always want to throw stuff on rap.
Right.
I saw that's the direction he was heading as far as what was going on with these shootings and stuff. Well, with the police violence, is that rap music has something to do with air fresheners. Or I don't know where he was going with that.
Well, they want to attack our culture. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's black culture.
And that's so played out, man. The whole rap music thing. But that's all. But when you've been told that by your folks, they've been told that, that's all you have to go on. So it was good that he was actually getting a little knowledge instead of just getting some fire from people. So I had to commend you on that. But I'm trying to unpack everything because it's rare I get to talk to you. But the cases, it really bothered me with the lieutenant, because from what I saw on the video, he did all the right things. Because I remember, the class that we took with Forte, he kept his hands up the whole time. Because I know if I get pulled over, my hands ain't coming down until you actually cuff me. Yeah. And he did all the right things, and they still were spraying him. And just watching that video and all the tough talk that the cops were saying to him, to me, I didn't see it as like an officer, dispensing the law. I saw, this dude, he reaching back through his mind to that 9th grade black dude that terrorized him at school. So now he got a badge and he gonna get some get right. That's how I always look at it when I see cops, getting all tough and talking all that smack and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, okay. They either been bullied or they always been afraid of a black person. Now they got a badge and a license to terrorize. So that's why they doing it. So I
feel the same way. I lose respect instantly.
Yeah. And there's no excuse for that, So, and I'm real big on, like, they ought to get psych tests, all of them, especially when it's a shooting. You ought to get like drug tests and psych tests at the drop, But also, you was talking yesterday about how parents, the fear that parents have, and I know for me, I got 2 children, and my fear for them is on 2 different ends. My oldest, who my oldest is, she's a performer, activist,
super dope.
And she travels and performs while she travels. She got a little bit of mouth and temper like her daddy. That's just a Taurus thing. That's how we are. And like I said, she travels a lot and perform. So it's like to me, it's like all the ingredients of a Sandra Bland situation. So that's always a fear of mine. Now, fortunately, she's under the wing of a great individual, which is, Sister Iris Rowley, so that gives me some relief, like she's being schooled by the best. But still, they going after sisters like they're going after brothers too. So that's a fear of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go on the other end of the spectrum. I got a 6-year-old little boy who's on the autistic spectrum. So, the case, just like the case with the young man that was autistic who, was walking home and got brutalized by the police.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fear of my future. How am I going to handle that? So, me and my wife, we, right now he's 6, but our plan is to educate him and let him know, that, cause I also am a big believer in having the emergency stash. If you taking me to jail, I'm going to jail. I ain't giving you no lip. We'll get our payback later with the family attorney.
Mm-hmm.
We got the emergency fund all set up, got the family lawyer ready. So if you intend, because I know if your intent is to take me to jail, you're gonna take me to jail, regardless. So me mouthing off and why you pulling me over, that's a lost cause. So I already know that's gonna happen. So that's one of the things, plan on educating my son and try, I've tried to educate my daughter with that. So hopefully she got that too, But it's a real fear. It's a real fear. I mean, I think we have over time developed a type of psychological trauma over it. Because I tell you this much, for 17 years I was a truck driver, and on my route I had the store on California and Redden, Quick Stop.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my regular stores. Now in 2000, when I would pull up, and I'll keep it real. When I pull up and I saw a bunch of dope boys and stuff hanging around, I would be kind of on edge at that, and have a sort of little bit of relief when I would see a police car pull up. 17 years later, it was totally the opposite. I'd be relieved to see them when I saw a cop, because at least I knew one of them had a phone. So that anything happened with this officer towards me, they're getting it on. That's just how our society had changed by then. In those 17 years, with all the brothers getting killed by cops, it was like the whole paradigm is shifted. My fear ain't that much. I fear you guys now. So it hurt my heart to hear about it, and I agree with you and some of the callers, man. The young man, he fought a losing battle trying to resist, and it cost him his life. And I strongly urge people to shout out to Brother Forte with Ride or Die. I strongly urge them to get with that class, because that's one of the things they also teach, is how to handle situations from a black point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one can tell us how to handle things better than us.
Mm-hmm.
How to handle a situation if you're dealing with a cop and that kind of thing. So I strongly urge that, man. That way when we're out here, we can use our mind, our head, and just be prepared for whatever, because, with this qualified immunity, which the simple fact that it exists is crazy. I mean, I never even understood it. Like, how you give a pass for a cop to do whatever's in his heart, and he can get away with it. So as long as that exists, they can do whatever they want. But I'm about to get back to work, and I enrolled in that the tactical training class. I hope I see you there, man.
Okay.
In May. That's it's also on my birthday, so that's gonna be my birthday present myself, is get more proficient.
Okay, that's dope, man. I'm not currently enrolled, and Forte and I get together and put some classes out, for the shoppers or some classes that we can all join.
I'll get on that too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, brother.
But all right, man, I'm going to get back to work. I love the show. I'll catch the rest later on.
All right, man. Have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's Tony right there. Yeah, man. Father. Oh, his daughter is super dope. Super dope. Super talented. Super talented. I like those kind of people. I like people that speak their mind. I love arrogant black people. We need more arrogant black folks. I love people who know who the fuck they are and don't back down and say what they got to say. I love it. I love it. That's what I want around me. Who you want around you? It's been said that we are the sum total of the 5 people that we spend the most time around. So you got to ask yourself, who you spending your time around? Think about it. All right, 513-873-7134. If you like to share your thoughts this morning, I'm here to hear it. I'm here for it. I let it be known. How do you feel about it? If this is me, some situation like this, and Nate ends up dead, you got to know it's some BS. Like, that's off the top. You already know it's some BS. Because I already told you what my attitude is. I'm not arguing with no police. I don't have to argue with you. Argue with you for what? You got a job to do. Do your job. You're not taking me to prison. You taking me to the lockup facility so I can get processed. I'm going to make bail. I'm going to get out. Simple as that. You may inconvenience me for a day or two, or let's say it's over the weekend. Maybe say it's 3 days. All right. You inconvenience me. You got me for 3 days. And then I'm going to get out. And if I got a case, I'm going to get a lawyer. We're going to go hard in the paint. And we'll deal with it that way. Simple as that. Simple as that. As much as you can, family, if you can, put $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day away. I'm telling you, you're going to walk differently in these streets knowing that you got $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 sitting there. So that if you got to call a lawyer, you already got it. You're going to walk differently if you do prepaid services, because you can prepay legal representation. Once you get that in place and you got bail money, you're going to walk differently in these streets. I'm telling you. You're going to walk differently in these streets. You're going to walk around much more free in these streets, because if something happened with the boys and you got to get processed, you ain't got no problem. Get in there, do some sit-ups. Mess around with these fools behind bars, because they're going to be on 100 miles of dumb shit back there. You already know. And that's it. And you get out and you move on. Simple as that. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Nathan.
Hey, what's up?
Michael Snackson.
Michael Snackson.
Nice to meet you. First time, long time.
First time, long time. Okay. What's up, brother Snackson?
Oh, yeah. A couple things. First of all, I didn't really... That interview with Daunte parents, I found something really odd in there. The mom saying that, her son's afraid of police, then why are you letting him drive your car and he's got an open warrant? That doesn't add up, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop excusing dumb-ish. You know what I'm saying? That motif about how the brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. All that is great. Why are you out here moving like a jerk off and you have an open warrant? That kills all that right there. I'm sorry. And also you mentioned Benjamin Crump. That's a very good point too. I think it's being understated, because it's not that he's always at all of these family side when a relative gets shot. It's how quick he's there. He's there instantly. It took Donnie B 3 weeks to return an email to me. Oh, hey, Donnie, can you help me? Could you get in touch with this person? I'd like to interview him for something I'm doing. 3 weeks later, I see an email. I thought the person just said no. 3 weeks later, she emails me back, oh, babe, I'm sorry, I've been so busy. I just got to this. I'll ask him. I'm like, oh, damn. You know what I'm saying? And he's there instantly. Like he gets teleported to that mug, to the spot. You know what I'm saying?
It's got the power gauntlet.
Right. You know, and have you not talked about this woman, Colors? Maybe you're saving it for Friday. Who bought the house in Beverly Hills or Hollywood Hills or whatever? The Black Lives Matter lady. They're inspecting her finances, or they asked the dude from New York, Black Lives Matter, asked that her finances be inspected. This is like you know, her and her same-sex partner from Canada. I think her name's Garza. You know, they bought a house out in a $1.4 million house. She's got a Netflix deal. You know what I'm saying? The one lady, Tamika Mallory, is in Cadillac commercials.
Yeah, I saw that.
Of all the cars, and you say you do Black Lives Matter, of all the mother flipping cars to endorse, you endorse a Cadillac. It's bad enough that you're a civil rights leader doing promos for a company that the TV execs are saying don't spend money with them, General Motors, and you do a Cadillac commercial. There's just something just odd there to me. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me.
Is that a
You
real?
understand?
Is there really a video out there?
What? I've seen it, yeah.
Oh, really?
It was like some Mad Max shit. Oh, excuse me. It was like some Mad Max stuff, yeah. You know,
So is she the spokesperson? I haven't seen the ad. Just off the surface, I'm thinking it don't feel right. But
she has lines.
So
she has lines in it. She has lines in it where she's an authoritative voice in the commercial.
Can you see her in the voice? Is it just her voice, or can you see her?
You can see her like emerging from a vehicle or walking toward one or something. Like it's like on some Mad Max, like you know the confrontation scene, but it's dark out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I saw it on Twitter. Like, oh hell no.
Damn, that's interesting.
You could probably pull it up. You could probably pull it up if you wanted to.
Yeah. I'm gonna look for it right now. Actually, I want to see this. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
But yeah. One more thing before I go. Do you know who Curtis Spoon is?
Curtis Spoon?
Spoon with a C.
Nah, it don't ring a bell.
Well, he's getting into politics now. Like he's got something going on with the former mayor of Detroit, Coleman. But he's a notorious figure. He's got a podcast with Jason Whitlock.
Oh,
and when
really?
you hear his background, it's kind of weird. Yeah, because like he's a notorious New Yorker from Queens. His name came up when Jam Master Jay got murdered.
Oh, really?
As a person of interest, because they supposedly Jay allegedly botched a $30,000 drug deal for him, and something happened with that. And you know what I'm saying. And he ran with a wild circle. The guy who actually killed or was charged with killing him, and another dude he ran with was David C. Wright or C. something. He's got kids with Sammy the Bull's daughter. You see what I'm saying? This dude ran with a crew like that, and he's doing a podcast with Jason Whitlock. They got an interesting dynamic because Jason is elitist and supercilious as he always is. Whitlock kind of still relates to the streets a little bit. Not Whitlock. Schoon kind of relates to the streets a little bit. I say that to say this. You know, he was talking about Daunte on their latest podcast. He was talking about Daunte, and he said, you know, everybody keeps saying, that could, he's like, the black community has too much empathy. Everybody keeps saying that could have been my son, my nephew, my my father, who else? He's like, and I'm looking at it like that couldn't be me. Because I ain't scared to go to jail. Come a point in time where you need to sit down and just kind of like, for and comply, for lack of a better word. But again, you out there moving weird with a warrant, driving a vehicle. Vehicle gets pulled over. The first person they want to know is who is the driver. And if it's that serious, they'll get into the passenger. But they definitely want to know who the driver is. So, like, what is you, bruh? You made so many mistakes. I mean, I'm not blaming him because there should be some type of federal law that says, okay, 70% of the world is right-handed, so therefore you must keep your gun on the right side, taser on the left, so we don't have this confusion in every state. So we don't have this type of confusion. But this brother just made so many mistakes. It's just very difficult to even even process the whole thing. Like, kind of like you said, or the person posted. Like, if he hadn't made such egregious mistakes, he would be here with us. That's why I can't get hyped over this. Emotional, none of that. And just remember, quit forwarding, sharing these police encounter videos with somebody getting a wig split or even killed. They're the new slave movie. It becomes a part of the mental conditioning too. But you don't hear me though. I'll holler back, brother. It's been real.
Appreciate you. That's Michael Snacks, and I added a little accent to the E there, Michael. I just figured it sound better. You tell me, Michael Snackson or Michael Snackson? Michael. So that's Michael. Michael sounds better. I'm helping you. Brother. That's Michael Snackson right there. So let's talk about this. It keeps coming up. Let's have a conversation right here, right now. We should have a conversation. How do we feel about sharing these videos? Should we share these videos? Is sharing these videos of police encounters where Black people are being treated badly or killed by police, is that part of the problem or part of the solution? Or are you neutral about it? Okay. I'd like to know what you think. That question is inspired by Michael Snackson. Brother Michael came through with that. Let's have a conversation because it keeps coming up, swirling around. You know me, I'm full frontal. Let's just deal with it. How do you feel about sharing these videos of police encounters where Black people are being killed or manhandled, mistreated? Is that a part of the problem? Does sharing these videos contribute in a negative way psychologically on any level? Or are you neutral? Like, I don't really got an opinion about it. It is what it is. Or do you feel like, nah, it's really about education and news? How do I feel about it? I feel, and again, I'm biased because I've been in media. I look at this as more education. Like, people just don't know what's going on until they see it these days. And I think that we need to see part of the reason why this country reacted the way that it did to George Floyd is because we saw how grisly it was. It was no filter. We saw exactly what it was. Okay. I want to see it. I want to deal. I'm just like that in my life. I'd rather deal with it full frontal than act like it's not there and play games with myself. I don't do none of that shit. It is what it is. We're going to deal with it front up. So if this is what happening, then we need to see it. So real quick, family, tell me how you think about it. I want to take your pulse on this morning. How do you feel about sharing these officer-involved shooting videos? Is it part of the problem? Does it have a negative impact in any kind of way psychologically? Are you neutral, like, makes no difference? Or do you feel like it's a part of the education process? While you ponder that, let me go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection. Your Black, not Democrat, Drop Squad 52. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Shout out to the Alt Middle and all their affiliates, Fame, Rothstein, Sports Investing. And he kind of stole my thunder about Patrice Cullors, one of the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement. And Mr. Ivy, I don't know if you know about this, but as protests broke out across the country in the name of Black Lives Matter, the group's co-founder, Patrice Cullors, went on a real estate buying binge, snagging 4 high-end homes for $3.2 million alone, according to property records. She also eyed property in the Bahamas at an ultra exclusive resort where Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods both have homes. So, Mr. Ivy, in light of the controversy around the Black Lives Matter movement, their founders, and the $90 million plus that they received in donations in 2020 because of the pain and suffering of George Floyd at the hands of police officer Derek Chauvin. Do you think that these so-called activists, social justice warriors, should be allowed to take in this money and then spend it the way they spend it? And it also is counter to her beliefs as a Marxist/communist. She is self-proclaimed. You know all this, right, Mr. Ivy?
I didn't know that she was a self-proclaimed Marxist. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes,
that.
and communist. Yes. Well, she's out of California, Mr. Ivy. She's originally from a pretty, I ain't gonna say rich, but she's from out here in the valley, in Southern California, and she's always been an activist, and she followed the teachings of Saul Alinsky, and I'm sure you know who Saul Alinsky is because you got all that education, Mr. Ivy, from Cincinnati, because you did go to the University of Cincinnati Bearcats, right?
I did.
And I'm sure you know who Saul Alinsky is, right?
Yeah, rings a bell.
Oh, okay. Rules for Radical. So I'm just asking, Mr. Ivy. Now, of course, Fame Rothstein didn't take it this deep, but he threw it out there. And I'm just wondering, Mr. Ivy, do you think this is an issue that the Black community should be discussing? And again, I'm not saying that she shouldn't be able to purchase all these homes. Shit, that's her money. Right. She has a whole lot of other ventures that she's involved in.
All right. So what are you saying?
But what I'm saying is, Mr. Ivy, because of the money controversy with the organization, I mean, Police Colors is catching it. Who else? The other lady, Garza, she's catching it. Mm-hmm. Tamika Mallory's catching it. Mm-hmm. Because again, I'm not trying to say that Campaign Kelly Prather is in the same category. But
what?
but what I'm saying is, Mr. Ivy, sometimes people will take an issue. I'm not going to say they will steal it or hijack it, but because these individuals have that gift of communication and articulation, and they're able to speak on any issue, that they use these issues to get money, and then they use this money to treat themselves, to live in the lap of luxury because they're the ones who have all this support behind them. They got everybody like, go ahead, Patrice. Go ahead, y'all. You go ahead, girl. You do your thing. We got your back. And they have that gift to get, and I hate to say it, but again, Barack Obama also had the gift. And it's called the gift, the magic Negro. That Black person that's able to go in these white circles. Because we all know, Mr. Ivy, that $90 million ain't come from the Black folks or the brown folks. That $90 million came from guilty white people. So I was just wondering if you think this is a topic that the Black community needs to discuss when this money that's intended for the Black community to deal with the mistreatment, the disproportionate, and all these other things that these groups are advocating for. Don't you think people are going to question when it's like, hold up, you just spent $3.2 million up in the white folks' neighborhood? And I don't know. I'm not. This is.
To answer your question, sir. I think it's fair for a conversation piece. It's interesting. But I also think that it's also fair to do more research so that we know what we're talking about. So I don't know what money she spent. Like you said, she got other ventures. If she got it like that and can afford it, cool. Go ahead and get it. I'm all about it. We need more Black folks up there living in big houses in Hollywood and Black wealth. I'm all for it. I'm not going to hold that against her. With Tamika Mallory, my concern is I don't have a problem with activists doing commercials. I don't have a problem with that. But I think that if you're really true to the game as an activist, then you need to make sure that whoever you are partnering with, collaborating with, is responsible to the same community that you serve. And GM is not responsible to the community.
Exactly. And that's what I mean by how these activists that we're talking about shed a bad light on the people who out there in the streets doing the real work, like Cincinnati's #1 freedom fighter, Iris Rowley. Those are true dedicated people that have taught the game, not the game, but they taught the strategies to these young folks. And these young folks, Mr. Ivy, they taking it to the next level. I mean, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, the OGs, they like sitting back like, damn, these young folks, they getting paid. $90 million, Mr. Ivy, in 1 year. And somebody ain't sharing that sugar because it's that's all I got, Mr. Ivy. I ain't gonna go too much longer, but I just want to give a shout out to the mayor of Baltimore Center, Minnesota, because that brother, he protecting his butt, Mr. Ivy. He firing everybody. And he making sure, because it sounds like he's speaking directly. He's speaking directly to the activists in Minnesota. Because, again, like I said yesterday, Mr. Ivy, it's something going on in Minnesota, and hopefully something will be done, because they're saying that the police officer, Kim Palmer, resigned because they thought maybe that news... say again?
Potter,
yeah. They thought that announcement last night would deter any civil unrest, which obviously it didn't. So tonight, night 4, they're saying that the local officials will probably charge her today in hopes that it won't be a night 4 of civil unrest. Because the day, like, history, the protests start off peaceful, and then the same tactics get taken over by the same people, and we get the results that happened last night. So thank you for taking my call, Mr. Ivy. Drop Squad 52, Black Not Democrat. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Peace.
All day, every day. Thank you for the call, brother. Appreciate you. That's Drop Squad. Dropping in. He didn't say drop in science for anybody that wants to catch it. He didn't say that. So I don't know the details about the Black Lives Matter supporters or founders. I don't have the details about them buying a big old house in Hollywood or multiple houses. Great. Buy up all the property. Why not? I wish the best for me and mine. I love it. Go on, get you $3 or $4 million houses. Great. I don't know the details. I don't know how they spend their money. They could be giving themselves a salary. I mean, that's what you can do when you found an organization. You can set your own salary. So they might be paying themselves $500,000 a year for all I know. And if they are, so what? That's their situation. What I would say to people, if you got a problem with it, then start your own organization. That's what I would say. But it is worthy of conversation because they're doing it under the banner of Black folks. I get it. It's fair for a conversation. But, I think that, we want to nitpick and try to bring it down. I mean, it is what it is. Tamika Mallory in the Cadillac commercial that I haven't seen yet. I mean, GM is irresponsible. If you would listen to P. Diddy and Byron Allen and Roland Martin in terms of spending advertising dollars with Black people. So now you want to run out and get Tamika Mallory and put her in an ad and try to use her to try to get Black people to buy your cars. That's irresponsible to me. I have no problem with activists working with these big brands. Go ahead, make your money. But I feel like if you are activist, then your ask should be more than just a check. You should be, for me, I feel like you should make sure that who you're collaborating with, you need to check into their history. What's their history in terms of, the community that you're actively serving with your activism. I think that matters. Why would you lend your personality for a brand that has been disrespecting your folks? That don't make no sense. That's inconsistent to me. That doesn't make any sense. But if you're working with a brand and they got a great relationship with us and they seriously are making inroads outside of just paying you a check as a spokesperson and you're an activist, that makes sense. I got no problem. Go make your money, sis. Go make your money, bro. Got no problem with it. Cash in. Cash in. But if you listen to P. Diddy and Byron Allen and Roland Martin, General Motors has in terms of working with black-owned media, has not been a friend. Then you want to run out and get Tamika Mallory because she hot right now, and then try to use her image or her voice to try to attract black people, but you don't want to advertise with black media? That shit don't make no sense to me. I'm not with that. I ain't with it. But I mean, I'm just spitballing here. I'm not saying I got all the details. Maybe they do. Hey, what's up, brother OJ? The Wellburn Experience. What's up, brother? Absolutely. I saw your message on Facebook. It's on me, brother. I definitely would make sure we make that connection. I'm excited. I'm down 100%. Kaz is in the house. She writes, it worked for God. He destroyed everything and everybody and started all over again. That's what I want. Unspeakable wrath. And I'm dead serious. Otherwise, our great-grandchildren would still be fighting these same battles. She said, unspeakable wrath. Yeah, that's what I want too. What are we talking about? We just tuning in. So I was just spitballing and hypothesizing and flowing. You know what we do here. As Mikel Snackson might say, talking slick and greasy. And it just dawned on me. Let me let the people know how I feel. Like, if I get shot by the police under some mysterious circumstances, I want unspeakable wrath. I want 40 days and 40 nights. I want this shit to be biblical. I want all the smoke, every color. I want fire. I want it all. I want boycotts. And if you're going to get a mural of your boy, don't put my shit on the ground, because that's disrespectful to my image and my legacy. Don't put my shit on the ground acting like you honoring me. Put my shit up on the building so everybody can see it. You feel me? Just let you know. Some people play that, oh, well, just turn the other cheek and we gonna get over this soon. Hell no. People, this ain't gonna help. It will help. It does help. That's a lie and a half. It is a lie. Well, this ain't doing nothing for the memory of Nate. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All the smoke, every color. I want some fire. I want helicopters. I want National Guard. I want riot gear. I want a boycott. I want the whole 9 yards. I want this motherfucker to look like King Kong and Godzilla fought in downtown Cincinnati. Now, you might think that's irresponsible. But that's because you think with that classic old school Cincinnati way. And we on some new shit now. On some real shit. Simple as that. What, I'm not supposed to think highly of myself? Please. Burn it down if that's what you got to do to build it back up the right way. And I stand by that 100%. All who don't like it don't know what to tell you.
The money at Choppers and the night tonight we show again.
Again, right. I know. I love you too. I love you. I know. Okay, he's just gonna be in the background now, doing his own thing. We'll let him do that. Let me see here. Let me see. Good morning, Jerica. Jerica writes, we aren't here to educate master on how to be master. Jocelyn, hey, good morning, Jocelyn. She writes, they ain't stupid. Hey, good to see you. She writes, how long are black people supposed to be understanding of white folks' ignorance? That's an excellent point. I would say no tolerance whatsoever. I don't have zero tolerance for it. I'm not here to educate you per se. Although we got a call yesterday, and I want to make sure that we set the record straight. But I ain't here to, no, hell no. Grown people? Hell no. Mm-mm. See, that's part of that dumb shit. Y'all just don't know. No, you know. You know. You just doing what you want to do until you get checked. And you're forced to change or forced to acknowledge it. That's what's really going on. That's just me. You might feel differently. You might be different. But hopefully I put the message out there. Like, if something happened to you with the police, what you want the community to do? You want them to just be like, let's hold a vigil. We're going to sing and then we're just going to go home. Or do you want 40 days and 40 nights of God's wrath? Me, I want 40 days and 40 nights of Black Jesus wrath. That's what I want personally. I want a list of demands that is going to move the community forward, after my death. I want my death to mean something. And did I say don't put my mural on the ground? I think I did. I know the pro mural folks hate me. He always telling me that it's better things and bigger things. I mean, we all got different viewpoints on things. It is what it is. Let me see. Jocelyn writes, or they're punks on a power trip. I've seen it. I've seen situations where police officers got to get loud. They got to let you know what's going on and who they in charge. You got to do what you got to do. Everybody understands that. But I've seen far too many examples where I'm like, really, man? You trying to flex on this, bro? Come on, man. Go sit down. Again, it's weak. It's weak. It's like the biggest dude in the gym that want to bully the smallest dude in the gym. I don't got no respect on that. Go do that with somebody to get in your mouth. Then I have some respect for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't, as a man, I can't respect that. I can't respect that at all. Sorry. If I've just described you, then so be it. So be it. Hey, Lennis. Lennis writes, good morning, brother Nathan Ivy. Good morning to you, brother. Good to see you. Janice writes, this is sheer propaganda. Why is it that the only race where violence against one another is blacks? Question mark. Sheer, unadulterated propaganda. Merely to perpetuate an image to further demonize the black race. There is violence within and between same race communities such as poor whites, Chinatown, reservations, etc. We just don't hear about it. Do not believe it, she writes. Sister Iris writes, thank you. I don't believe that shit at all. You can't tell me nothing about me and us. Nothing negative anyway. I don't believe it. It must be the music. When you hear somebody trying to make that argument, they're trying to blame black culture. It's your fault because you're listening to this music. Wasn't for the music, the police wouldn't be killing you. Yeah, sure. Sure. We got you. Fame writes, how are y'all traumatized by cop behavior? We heard from Fame, a.k.a. Mikkel Snackson earlier. Jericho writes, so no victim blaming now that we've seen the interview from the parents, huh? Shaking my head. Well, I feel the same way. My opinion hasn't changed. I feel the exact same way as I did yesterday. Politically Petty writes, rack 'em. He writes, I smell schmedium t-shirts. Stacy writes, good morning. New phrase, 100 miles of BS. LOL, right. 100 miles of bullshit. I'm like, you didn't know what you was. I saw Tracy on Instagram. A lot of people probably posted this, but it was a side-by-side image of a firearm and then a taser. They don't look nothing alike. One of them is a big old yellow. How you mistakenly? You're looking down the barrel. You're looking down the barrel. It's inexcusable. Inexcusable. I hope she gets charged to the fullest extent of the law. And I hope she goes to jail for as long as they possibly can put her ass in jail. And then can we stop acting like every warrant is the same? Every warrant is not the same. You got somebody there that skipped out on a serious assault or murder. That's different than, it was you had a traffic ticket and you didn't go down, it doubled and you missed your court date. It's just a standard bench warrant. We don't even know what the violation was. But again, it goes back to how they got us brainwashed. And I got to tell you, black folks are brainwashing this way too. How do I know? I talk to black folks every day. I've been doing it for years. There's a lot of black folks, as in general, the whole country has been brainwashed to believe that if you commit any kind of crime, then whatever the police do to you is okay. We don't spend enough time talking about the conditions of our prisons because it's kind of like, well, you did the crime, so whatever happens to you. And I keep telling people, whatever they can do to one of us, they can do to any of us. And I don't care who you are, and I don't care what they are. But some people, the power structure in this country has been successful in brainwashing us to believe that because you got a warrant, that warrants a rough arrest. Well, he got a warrant. They do the same thing with drugs in your system. Well, he's got drugs in his system. He's like superhuman. Get the fuck out of here. But it works. It works. That's why whenever they always do a toxicology report on, people that got killed by police because they're hoping they got any kind of drugs in their system because too many dumb Americans believe that if you got any kind of drug in your system, then now you're superhuman. Oh, he's got the strength of 10 black Africans and all this kind of dumb shit. So they had to do what they had to do. Oh, he's impervious to it, you know? Most recently, there was a situation a couple years back, not too long ago, and again, Chief Elliot Isaac made a statement, and he made a statement talking about, well, they deployed the taser, and the taser had no effect, and I still, to this day, have a problem with that. No, Chief Elliot Isaac, it did have an effect. It just didn't have the effect that you wanted. This idea that some people can just knock off the taser, they don't feel it, is bullshit. I don't believe that at all. Oh, they don't feel it. Just a little, it's just 50,000 votes. Get out of here, man. I don't believe it one bit. I don't believe it one bit. But see, that goes back to being superhuman as melanated people. You got that melanin in your skin. Oh, you don't need no pain drugs. You don't need no pain medicine. Oh, what we do to you, you don't feel it. Like literally, they had an expert that testified at the Derek Chauvin trial yesterday talking about how he believed that Derek Chauvin used proper use of force. And I'm like, damn, where they dig this motherfucker up at? Damn. I know I'm just cursing, but, you know, it is what it is. Kids are back in school now. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I need to tone it down, don't I? I do. I'll tone it down for you. I do it for my people. I do it for you. A lawyer will take a clear-cut civil rights case any day. They know they will get paid swell from that. Rachel writes, unfortunately, we have to plan for cop interactions like we plan for all other insurancers, right? Let me jump inside the chop shop. Brenda was first inside the chop shop. She writes, happy Wednesday. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. I have been up since 4 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, getting it in. It's nothing like getting up early. It's still dark outside. You get that workout in, set your mind right, start working on whatever your entrepreneurial business plans are. You know what I'm saying? You up before all your competition because they sleep. Your competition is sleeping. They think they won already. They think they got it. But you up plotting, planning, you know what I'm saying? Getting your mind right for the rest of the day. There's nothing like it. You get a chance to extend your workday. Sleep. Oh, you accomplished all your goals? Sleep is for people that's accomplished all your goals. Raise your hand if you've accomplished all your goals. Then what the fuck are you sleeping for? Get up. What you sleeping for? Get your ass up and get to work. Get up and get to work. Get up. Because your comp is out there sleeping. And they got it. They think they won already. You know what I'm saying? They think they are untouchable. You can't ever catch them. Show them differently. Show them differently. Charlie Winburn writes, negative rap music is not the cause of violence because it's only a symptom or indication of a problem. The real root of self-violence and violence in general is unresolved adverse childhood experiences started in the mother's womb in 18 years. Negative rap music is the expression of pain. That's the person is going through. It's a cry for help. I agree. Absolutely. Man, studies suggest now that the way that the experiences of the mother while the child is in the womb will have an impact on the child's development. It don't start when the child is born. That child is taking in stimuli from the mother and the environment while she's pregnant. That's all facts on facts on facts. It's all what they call science. It's all science these days. A little sidebar here. I got to roll out at 9:30, but damn, it gives us just about 12 minutes. Sidebar for everything else. I just thought it was interesting. How many people remember Jaleel White? How many people remember Jaleel White? You know who that is? Jaleel White is best known. Hold on, let me see if I can. I like Jaleel White. I always have. I always thought he was a pretty dope entertainer. He's the guy behind Urkel. Urkel was one of the best TV sitcom characters of all time. One of the best of all time. And then when he brought out Stefan Urkel, man, that was so fucking much fun. It was so entertaining. And he just did a great job with it. So you remember Urkel was kind of, as they might say, nerdy, Although I like nerds. I'm a nerd. What does that mean to be a nerd? I don't know. Because you like video games, you into science and shit like that. I'm into all that shit. So if that's what a nerd is, then that's what I am too. It is what it is. Hold on one second, family. I'm doing all kind of shit here. And so hold on, I'm looking for an image here I want to put up on the screen. Folks who are like, Jaleel White, who is that? So Jaleel White is the name of the actor that played Stefan Urkel and Steve Urkel. What a great, who came up with that? That was a great idea right there. Family Matters, that was a great show. A lot of fun. Do we have any good black family-centered sitcoms right now? I don't know. Most of the shit I watch, when I get a chance to watch something, it's kind of like, when it's like a streaming service. So are there any brand new black family-oriented sitcoms? There's a whole bunch of them. It's been dozens and dozens and dozens over the years. Some of them have been pretty good, but I'm just trying to think, is there any new shows out there right now? I don't know. Well, get this, family, and I love this, but Jaleel White has now launched a new cannabis brand called Purple Urkel. What a great name, Purple Urkel. And let me see if I can get an image here for you. I think I can, actually. This is Purple Urkel. I'm pro-cannabis. I'm pro-cannabis for a couple reasons. One reason is because I think that cannabis is a better alternative for people who are dealing with chronic illnesses than that man-made, over-the-counter junk that may have a whole kind of side effects. You're dealing with chronic pain or malaise or dementia or whatever. There's a whole list of issues that it can deal with. Get it from the earth. And the other thing is that as we're talking about reparations, I think that the emerging cannabis industry can be reparations for us. It should be reparations for us. That's just a screenshot right there. I'm 100% for legalization. I'm 100% for recreational legalization. And I'm 100% for making sure that black people get their piece of that game first. If anybody should cash in on legal cannabis, legal weed, it should be us. Why? Number one, y'all ain't came through with that 40 acres of mule yet. That's number one. And then number two, well, a couple reasons. Number two, because, cannabis has been used as a rationale to harass our families and harass us, to take money out of the black family through legal costs, court fees, tickets, all this kind of shit. So at the very least, this country can pay back into it by making sure that black entrepreneurs get the most significant piece of the pie. Not just a little sliver, the most significant piece of it. I remember in the state of Ohio a few years back, they had something that went before the voters. I voted against it and shouted it down. And they was talking about making Nick Lachey the Canada Midwest. That's the white dude from 98 Degrees. I'm sure he's a great guy. But fuck that. If anybody's going to get paid off of this, it should be us first. When this shit goes legal in Ohio, I want to see black entrepreneurs get what they deserve. First. Not Oscar Robinson. He is a brother, but he already got money. We need to make some new money black millionaires, period. And the cannabis industry can do that. And there's just so many different ways to be involved in the cannabis industry. So when I heard this about the Urkel, the Purple Urkel, I'm like, oh, let me share this with the family. Purple Urkel, I like it. I love it. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brother 252. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, what's up, Brother 252? Good morning to you. Welcome.
Hey, man, Purple Urkel. I like it, man. I like it. Before I talk about cannabis, man, let me say this, man. If you're a Class A CDL driver, you have to stay away from cannabis. Point blank. There's so many different strands of CBD now. The oils, the lotions, things for aches and pains. But the thing with a CDL driver is, if you get caught with it in your system, there's even some products that you can buy in a truck stop. So you would think, well, it's in a truck stop, so it's legit. But if you get caught with any of that strand in your system, the process of proving your innocence is so delayed that it basically takes 4 or 5 years to clear your name. So, but I like what my man is doing. I actually just got into the stock market probably about a year and a half to 2 years ago. I'm a late bloomer, but cannabis stocks, guys, we have challenges. Um, Chicago is probably at the forefront now with a lot of legislation that's moving through. A lot of rules is moving through legislation, and if you listen to guys like Mays Jackson, they will tell you that they are legislating us out of the cannabis industry. But wherever we find that at least we can always get on the cannabis stock. Look, I just made $14,000, bro, off a ticker MJNA, medical marijuana. I made 14 grand, probably about, and this is a penny stock right now. So, penny stocks are very volatile and you have to, watch them. But, built my shares up over time and said, I'm just going to rock with it. They're doing a lot of, buy-in right now, acquiring different companies. And, and I made that at only 22 cents. Actually, it went to 22 cents, but it sold at 16 cents. I cashed out at 16 cents. So, there's a host of penny stocks that you can find now on, a lot of them you can't find on Robinhood, but you can find them on, the platform that I'm only familiar with is TD Ameritrade. But cannabis stocks, bro, cannabis stocks. Nate, this is like the next thing, because I'll say this real quick. I know 9:30 is coming up. Almost like artificial intelligence, and they're not just cannabis. You look at artificial intelligence and the tech industry. There's a race now with artificial intelligence, and then you would think that Amazon is going to win the race, but there's still a lot of other players that are jockeying and trying to get that capital up, trying to acquire different companies. Cannabis is doing the same thing. There's a company in Chicago, I think it was called Valera. A couple of CEOs, man, just got caught trafficking marijuana plants into another state. They was trying to, and on an airplane, but you don't hear about it because that's white collar. But they was caught trafficking these marijuana plants because they know that state is going to be is going to legalize it. So they're getting on the ground with it. There's a couple of NBA players. I think Al Harrington. I forget the exact name, but a lot of people's into this stuff, man. I'm gonna have to look up that purple Urkel, man. But guys, we have to do our due diligence. And if it's just even in penny stocks, Sundial, MJNA, medical marijuana. There's a host of Canadian companies. But I know your time is short, man. I'll drop it there. You drop that, and we'll chat it up later.
Almost death. Thanks for the call, brother. Brother 252. You said TD Ameritrade, huh? 14 G's on some penny stocks? Damn, I'm loving that. I just love the advice and the conversation. That's what time it is. We should be talking about those kind of things. How do we make more money so you can live the kind of life that you want to live? So you can stack your chips, stack your properties, stack your investments. I'm 100% about Black wealth building. 100% about it. Every day, all day. See, the thing about it is that when we build our wealth, we can build our own shit. We can buy our own shit. Then we know what to do for us. But in this world, it takes money to make some things happen. I'm 100% about it, man. We should be building Black Wall Streets in every city in America, right? In whatever way we can. Building little miniature Black Wall Streets, supporting entrepreneurs, creatives, influencers as much as possible. I'm doing it, man. I'm here for that every day, all day. 14 G's on some penny stocks? That sounds good to me. Cass writes, it's not part of the problem because people see it live in color and still act like we are imagining the injustices against us. And police are still not charged with murdering us. Right. My question was, because somebody had brought up, that we should stop sharing these videos of when the police kill Black folks, because I've heard it be called all kind of stuff. Like, it's like, I don't know, some type of like white supremacy porn or something like that. I look at it differently. Again, I'm biased totally. I could be clouded by that. I completely put it on the table for all to know that I just see it differently. I think that there's an educational purpose I think that people need to see the grisliness of it, the realness of it, so we know what we're dealing with. I'm not for sugarcoating anything. I'm not a sugarcoater. I'm just a realist, a pragmatist. If that's what happened, that's what we need to see. And part of the reason why people were moved to action about George Floyd is because they got a chance to see it. It would not have been the same reaction from the community if we hadn't seen that video. It would not have been the same. If the video was altered, watered down, blocked, how they can digitize things. We got a chance to see what happened, complete with the urine leaving his body and trickling down the street. And I think it's important for us to see it because part of the white supremacist game was to keep us in the dark. We still don't know about the history of white violence against black neighborhoods to this day. Like, we got a better understanding about it. But the reason why they didn't show it, they didn't teach us this when we were younger, is because they didn't want us to be angry about it. They didn't want us to get mad and be on some black power shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not for that. If that's what happened, that's what happened. I think the people who are like, oh, don't do that. I think they're thinking, I think these are smart, intelligent people, but I think they're outsmarting themselves. You know what I'm saying? They're outsmarting themselves. We shouldn't be sharing these videos because it's nothing more than white supremacist porn. Well, then how the fuck are people going to know what happened then? You can't have it both ways. So I just think sometimes, some people, they start pontificating and getting all intellectual about it, which of course, I'm all about intellectualism, but I feel like they overthink it. It's a video, it happened, the people need to see it, nothing more. What the KKK and white supremacists do, who cares? Who cares? They might, but that's their purposes. Our purposes is to arm people with information. And that's why I share it. That's why I talk about it. That's why I share these videos so we can see it, talk about it, analyze it, break it down. There can be a lot of usefulness in it, right? There really can. It's all about what you do with it. That's how I look at things. It's all about what you do with the things that have happened to you. That's just me. Tabitha writes, we certainly need to make sure those funds go to the families. Anthony writes, I'm with you, Nate. I believe that execution should be televised also. People should see what being hanged or electrocuted actually looks like. Could actually help curb some high-level felonies like murder. I'm not against that. I mean, they doing it. If it's so ugly that you can't televise it, then we shouldn't be executing people. Now, I'm not for the death penalty. I don't think the state should ever put anybody to death because the state is flawed and they get it wrong a lot. And the life of one innocent person is far more important to us than the lives of guilty people. Far more important than the lives of guilty people, in my opinion. Dale writes, notice his ass ain't said nothing about the NRA. Kick rocks drop. Y'all wrong, man. Akeem writes, I see the coonery out attacking women on Nathan's show like Stefan Pryor was attacking Iris Rowley yesterday on Lincoln's show. Oh, really? I didn't see it. Oh, we always, we're going to disagree sometime. But it's all love at the end of the day. Maybe she is buying up homes because there is a method to her madness. I mean, you should be buying up homes and stacking property if you can afford it. Shit, if you can spend $3-4 million on property, go get you $3-4 million worth of property. Stack up on it. You should be doing that. Fame is a sham wow of sports. The sham wow. You are hilarious, man. The sham wow of sports investing. Make sure you get your money and don't loan dude $20. It takes months to get it back. Now, why are you going to say that about that man and his business, man? I cannot rubber stamp that, man. That's funny, though. The sham wow. Isn't the sham wow like one of those like towels or something that can like, it's got super absorbency and shit or something like that? You are funny. The sham wow. He writes, I dance for Donald Trump. You know how that started? Tariq Nasheed. He did a video on Roland Martin. It's still one of the funniest shit I've ever seen, man. And Roland Martin was dancing around. Ooh, we dancing. Remember that time when Roland Martin was dancing with Hillary Clinton? Not a good look, bro. Not a good look. He was showing her how to two-step. I ain't dancing with no motherfucking politicians. Are you out of your mind? What do I look like showing you how to do the two-step? You better go online and get you some classes. I know I've just been cursing at everything this morning, but I'm trying to grab your attention just a little bit. I promise I'll be better tomorrow. I promise. All right? My apologies. Crystal, I'm going to stop. No more for the rest of the show. I got it in this morning. The sham. Wow. Cleopatra Jones writes, Grand Risings, Nathan Ivy and the Choppers.
Get to the chopper!
It's a Chopper Wednesday. That's what we do. Carlton writes, okay, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like a little ad there. Hopefully it won't be like a spam because I'm going to have to block you, Carlton. And I won't hesitate. Let me see. Lee writes, my apologies, Lee. Lee writes, founder of Black Lives Matter sends troops to the front lines and sit backs and reaps the benefits? ? I don't believe she's thinking like that. Cass writes, drop, didn't Trump do that as well? ? How many white people jumped on his bandwagon when he was spreading lies about Obama? ? Come on, right. Everybody waited to cancel Donald Trump when he sparked the flame that led to the Capitol riots on January 6th of 2021. But for me, when he was out here lying about the authenticity of Barack Obama, that told me everything I need to know right then. They should have canceled his ass right there. But it is what it is, family. Hey, listen, have an excellent rest of your day. I bid you nothing but the best things. I wish nothing but the best for you, but I got to make a move. All right? Have an excellent rest of your Wednesday. I will be back and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. And remember our motto. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.